Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine Michelle. I'm Michelle. So today we're going to be continuing the Christmas countdown. This is a recipe I've never tried before for pecan pie balls. I've already started with measuring out some of the ingredients that we're going to need. So I'll tell you what the ingredients are first. You're going to need pecans, of course. You'll need graham crackers, which are going to end up being crushed. Dark brown sugar, butter, salt, maple syrup, vanilla extract, and then you're also going to need 7 ounces of dark chocolate. We'll get to that part later, but for now, let's start off with the pecans. You need 2.5 cups. I measured out the pecans when they were whole as 2.5 cups and then chopped them up and toasted them. Besides that, we're also going to need 1 cup, which is about 7 full sheets of graham crackers crushed up. That can go ahead and be added in the bowl over here. We'll come back to that in a moment. Here at the stove, I've got 1 cup of dark brown sugar already measured in here. We're going to go ahead and start this, and I'd say probably about medium. To that, I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/2 stick of unsalted butter. One-half teaspoon of salt. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, if I can keep the lid out of the way. And 1 teaspoon of the vanilla extract. We're going to stir those all together until the butter has melted and combined with everything else. All right, now that I have gotten this all stirred together and combined, melted, whatever you want to say, we're going to pour that into the pecans and graham crackers. Get a spatula to finish that out. Can't miss out on any of the good stuff here. And we will now stir this to get that combined. Okay, I ended up adding 1 more tablespoon of butter, so really the amount should be 5 tablespoons. You need it to be able to come together, and you can see I've already got my hands messy by testing. If your ball is not coming together at first, we are going to be forming these into balls. So if you're having a little trouble, you may have to add just slightly more butter. Don't go crazy adding the butter, but just the amount that you think you'll need to add. But it is a crumbly mixture, but once you start patting it together, you'll see that it does actually cohese into a ball. Even if you don't have a pretty form of a ball there, like the first one turned out a little bit better, but if they're kind of doing like that, don't worry, because what we're going to do is we're going to be popping these into the freezer after this. And you can pop them in the freezer for about a 1/2 hour, and if you need the balls to be a little bit better formed, if you want them to be exact, then you can take them out at the 1/2 hour and then get them a little bit more solidly formed into balls. And after that, you can put them back in the freezer. It does say to go for 2 hours, so we are going to go for 2 hours to make sure they're nice and solid before we get to the chocolate coating stage. So we're going to take one of these to coat it in our melted chocolate. Use a ladle. Chocolate's still pretty hot. But given these are frozen, they should set fairly quickly. It does say about 15 minutes for them to set. And then we'll see you at final plating. All right, here we are at final plating. I did not actually have enough chocolate to do all of the balls, so I would definitely say you need more than 7 ounces, probably closer to 10 to complete all of them. But, and I also sprinkle, I had just a little bit of pecan, went from chopping them up, I kept the pecan dust, if you will, to sprinkle atop of them, just to be a little extra fancy, but we did run out of that as well. So, anyway, let's give these a taste test. These have been smelling good the entire time we've been making them. I'm so excited to try. Oh my god. They're so good. Wow. You gotta have these. You gotta make these for sure. They're dynamite. They taste like pecan pie. It's amazing. With chocolate, of course. Anyway, thank you for joining me for another episode of Cuisine Michelle. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tell everybody about it, and leave us a comment. We'll see you next time. Au revoir!